Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning. My name is Chatra, and today in this video I'm going to talk about one of the important concepts in academia, mainly in business communications and in other type of subjects also, perception and reality. So simply, whenever we say perception, means how do we understand, what is the picture of something, some persons, or any subject matter in our mind. And reality refers to the exact thing, reality in the things. So perception and reality, when we talk about perception and reality, at that time we need to understand them differently first, separately. Then after that we should try to find out the relationship between perception and reality. After that we also try to find out the differences and how it is applicable to our communications. Whenever we communicate with the people to promote our job, business, or whatever relationship, at that time these two concepts play a vital role. So let's talk about perception and reality in this video. Okay, so what we think is perception and what the thing is reality. What we think is the perception and what the thing in real is the reality. Perception acts as a lens through which we view reality. So whenever we talk about perception, perception is a kind of lens. It's a viewpoint through which we try to figure it out, the reality in academia and in general life. Our perceptions influence how we focus on, process, remember, interpret, understand, synthesize, decide about, and act on reality. So our perceptions plays very vital role in our communication, not only in communication, everyday and professional life as well. So we do so many things on the basis of our perception. For example, we focus to something towards some job and some things, that is also on the basis of perception. We process the things and works, that is also on the basis of perceptions. And we remember, we sometimes interpret the something, and we understand, we synthesize, and sometimes we take decision about something. At that time also perception plays very vital role. And after taking the decision, when we try to apply something in our act, at that time also perception, in our act, at that time also perception plays very vital role. So it is a kind of guideline to our communication, to our language use and our other activities. So whatever we do on the basis of our perception. And in doing so, it means sometimes whenever we decide, we take the decision, we interpret, and we understand things, or we remember, we process, or we focus, whatever we do. While doing those things, our tendency is to assure that how we perceive reality is an accurate representation of what reality truly is. So there is a reality, truly there is a reality, and that reality is perceived from us. And whatever we have perceived, that we believe we have perceived accurately, as it is accurate way. But simply it is not the case. And some scholars also highlights that in the decade of 1980s, for example, Lee Atwater, the American political strategist, confirmed that perception is reality. Even today there are many people who often say that whatever is their perception, that is reality. But perception is not reality. We communicate, we behave, we make some sort of activity, we create some sort of product. At that time also what we understand is on the basis of our perception. And many people even today in this world, they believe and they are pretty sure that what is perception means what is the reality. So this concept should be connected with the objective truth and subjective truth. So in case of subjective truth, real perception can be it's more accurate as the reality, but not in the real case. So why? Now let's understand why perception is not reality. Whatever we understand, we think, and we view is not reality because we are limited. So before going to that side, let me tell you something about it, okay? How do we receive the information? How do we perceive the things, the environments, about the things, about the activities, about the people? It is on the basis of our sense organs, the main points. We make a perception on the basis of our, vision, how we look at things, and on the basis of the hearing, on the basis of the, smelling, tasting, touching. So there are 5 sense organs on the basis of which we try to receive the reality. We try to understand the reality, and which is not as accurate as it is, because all our sense organs are limited. Sometimes we see one thing, but the reality is different. Sometimes we hear one thing, but the reality is different. And sometimes we taste something and the reality is not what we taste. So our sense organs are limited. They can just measure the reality up to 70 to 80% only. And if we really want to understand, we really want to perceive the thing 100% or let's say 95%, then we should do some sort of activities. We should go through the process. That process also I'm going to talk about that in this video, which is very important. Mainly for the teachers and students, the concept of perception and reality, entire the education system, entire teaching learning system, the effort of students and teachers are based on, are interdependent with the concept of perception and reality. What we perceive may not be 100% real. What is real may not be perceived 100%. So our attempt, our focus should be to go to the near about of the perception, of that perception to the reality. That's very important concept. I want to show you one figure on the basis of which you can understand what perception and what reality is. Look at, in this picture there is a cat, but there is also the shadow of lion. So sometimes that shadow is our perception, but the reality is cat. Cat in someone's perception may be lion, but in reality it is not the lion. So it means the figure which is displayed over here is the cat in reality, but in perception it may be the lion. Look at this picture. So this is perception versus reality. There are two people are talking and they are claiming each other that one says this is 6, another says this is 9, and there is the debate, quarrel. But what do you think? What is this? It is 6 for one and 9 for others. So in this case, maybe perception is 100% real, but it determines the context. That perception is determined on the basis of the context. Let's discuss a little bit more about perception. Perception are mental formation based on the 5 senses of vision, hearing, touch, smell, and taste, and called 6 senses. That is a fusion of 5 unique senses. So perception is formed on the basis of our sense organs, that they receive the information. On the basis of that information we perceive the things and scenarios and people. Human perceptions are derived from facts, myths, tradition, customs, and beliefs, and a sense of reasoning that helps to align the conscious attributes towards the desired vision. So human perceptions are also dependent to the facts. We make perception about on the basis of facts. If we talk about the Karnali, highway, we can say that this is the most dangerous highway in the nation. What does it mean? I can make that kind of perception because there are many accidents. So accidents are the facts. Every year there are many accidents because of the the very poor condition of the road, we can make a kind of perception about the Karnali River. And there are myths. Myths means, historical stories. Stories, they are not proven, but they have the very good connection with the religious and cultural things in the history. And traditions, customs, and beliefs, they also help us to build the perception about anything, any people. And recognizing that seeing is believing, and that everything has a cause and an effect, one must see facts as assure the truth value in decision making. Most of the time, when you take the decision making about thinking that this is the reality, you should be guided by the facts, because facts are as more basis on the basis of proven things. So myths are unprovable and yet considered to be true in terms of cause and effect. Myths are also taken as the true. So that also help us to make the perception. Perception is the process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting information. So the information we receive from sense organs, we try to select them, organize them, and analyze them, on the basis of which we make the perception. That is called the process of perception, how we perceive the things, and that directly affects our communication, our language use, and our behaviors. First, we make some sort of perception about the things, about the people, on the basis of which we communicate or we behave, we respond that way. So perception is very important for everybody's life, because they are the guiding theory, guiding principles through which we communicate and we behave. So whenever we connect that perception to the communication, at that time we need to understand that perceptions plays vital role in case of language use and communications. So they also promote our communication for professional purposes and business purposes. So how can we make our perception as accurate as possible? How we can go nearby reality? So there are some ways. We need to make our eyes open. Our vision should be very clear. When we observe the things, we should observe it properly to make the perception more accurate like reality. And the second thing is, we should welcome the people's ideas. So one thing which I believe or which I perceive as reality may not be reality for another person. His perception might be different. So I should welcome other people's perception and their understanding and their viewpoints to make my perception more accurate. Because if we go in the group and try to find out the neutral way, then we may be nearby the reality. And the third thing is, we should welcome others' comments and criticism. So we should be liberal a lot, on the basis of which we can give our perception the more accurate direction towards the reality. And last but not the least, to understand something better, to perceive something more accurately, what we need to do is, we need to give the adequate time for ourselves to preview, to review, to view. That way we can go nearby the reality. In this way, in today's video, I talk about perception and reality, why both of them are important, and how we can make our perception more real. And the benefits also, we talk about the benefits. It will help us to understand something as accurate as possible. So that is very important. Thank you guys for watching this video. And if you have any comments about today's video, please do not feel shy or hesitant. Please give me the comments so that I can my video towards your need and your comments. Thank you very much. Have a good time. Thank you.